Welcome back to the Emerging Technology Showcase, the part of the MTS that showcases emerging technology. Our next speakers have almost 20 years of combined VFX experience, working on films like Star Wars, Nope, and many other movies with cool-looking spaceships. Presenting how to use 3D laser scanning in film production, please welcome Leica Geosystems, Jamie Featherston, and Henry Mountain.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Sympathy, everybody.
Welcome. My name's Henry. This is Jamie. I'm actually from the film industry as well, as you can tell from my accent, from the UK. I've had over 8 years experience on set with the sound stages, and really, my main role was to capture data and use the law of LiDAR within that process.
And I'm Jamie. I also have more of a visual effects background. We're with Leica today. We're here to talk to you a little bit about how to use 3D laser scanning specifically for film and television production. So before we jump into that, let me just tell you a little bit more about who we are. Leica has actually been around for over 100 years, helping people capture the sorts of visual data and imaging they need. In areas such as civil engineering, land surveying, even crime scene forensics. So there's many applications for laser scanning and the types of solutions that we offer. Now, more recently, we've been turning our attention more towards the media and entertainment space. We've seen a lot of technological advances, particularly over the last 5 years or so. And there's definitely a need to sort of optimize the way that pipelines are run and the way productions are sort of brought from previs through the pipe down to post-production and release. So, like I said, we're going to focus a little bit more on film production and television production today, but just to give you a brief idea of what sort of applications LiDAR has in the M&E space. So, film production, gaming oftentimes have similar use cases where LiDAR is used to capture an environment and recreate it digitally for artists to work with later down in the production pipeline. Theme parks, so for things like set rigging or clash detection, or even monitoring live foot traffic at your parks and monitoring, how your visitors are going from one attraction to the next. Live events, so again, set rigging, clash detection. If you're setting up shop in a new location, you need to get things up quickly. LiDAR is a good way to make those measurements digitally and prepare your materials accordingly. The metaverse, AR, VR. We had a case at Coachella, I think it was last year, where we sort of had to scan the space and put an AR character in that space. So in order to understand that, we had to use one of our scanners, get the geometry of the space we're going to be shooting in, and use that to recreate the character in real time. So there's a lot of different ways that this can be used in the M&E space. But before we really dive into that, let's just take a step back for a second and ask ourselves what LiDAR actually is.
Okay, so what does LiDAR stand for? So LiDAR is light detection and ranging. So essentially, with our devices, you can basically capture the surrounding area within the setup. It's used by prisms rotating around with the LiDAR light bouncing to all the surfaces in the nearby area, and then bouncing back to the device and creating a point coordinate. Actually, this RTC here can actually scan over 2 million points per second. So you can really get a lot of detail very quickly. Over to you.
Yeah, so, now that we sort of understand the basic concept of the technology, how can we use it in film and television production? I'm not going to bother listing out all the ways specifically. There's a ton of different applications for it, but some of those popular ones are recreating environments digitally. So we'll take one of our scanners, and there's more than the two we have on stage here. We have a couple different solutions depending on the type of space you're trying to scan. But taking one of our scanners into an environment, capturing that data, developing the point cloud that Henry just described, and then from there you can use imaging data to create a mesh. And that mesh can be sent down the pipeline for your artists to reference later on, whether it's for pre-visualization, tech viz, post-production. It's basically, particularly in the visual effects space, pretty much everyone's going to be referencing this data at one point or another during your production. So, match move, right? So if you have a digital element that you've scanned, you're tracking your camera, in the digital space. Let's say if you're using Unreal or Unity or any other real-time engine, for example, match move data is very dependent on the LiDAR scans that you capture towards the front end of that process. So there's just a lot of ways that this can sort of streamline how data is used and how assets and environments are created and sent down through artists. And it just cuts a lot of time. So just to give you a quick case study. Oh, did it go? There we go.
You're there.
Quick case study. We were working with our partners over at Global Objects. They needed some help capturing Mystic Seaport in Connecticut for Rob Lowe's docudrama about the Boston Tea Party. So Rob Lowe, he's a very popular guy. He's on a couple TV shows right now. His schedule is pretty packed. He can't always make it to Mystic Seaport. He also costs about $1 million a day to fly out there. So they need to bring Mystic Seaport to Rob. And the way we did that was we supplied Global Objects with 2 of our RTC 360 scanners. Those are the big boys over there. And they drove those out to Mystic across the country. They captured pretty much the entire seaport. They had budgeted for 4 days for the capture, and they got it all done in 1 day. So it just sort of goes to show, the speed that you can capture the visual data that you need. And yeah, they captured Mystic Seaport. They, did it all in 1 day, created that in a virtual set to be used on a volume with Rob Lowe back in Burbank. And the final product's pretty convincing. It feels like he's there. You just do some simple set extension in the foreground on your LED stage. So I don't know, crates and maybe a little dirt or something, but it blends pretty seamlessly with the wall behind it, especially if you do a good job capturing the environments while you're doing the scan. So that's just one of the many ways that this can, simplify the production process, help cut back on time, help save on budget, and just get sort of a really convincing high fidelity image for you to use in your final product.
Okay, so on the screen here, some of our BLK units. We've got a wide range. We've also got the RTC there. I feel these are the versatile solutions for media and entertainment. They're the go-to solutions that we provide. So there's actually 2 different types of LiDAR. You've got the more traditional LiDAR, which is on a tripod and rotates 360 degrees and captures the nearby data. So we've got, say, 130 meters with the RTC 360 and 45 meters with the BLK 360. And then there's the more autonomous LiDAR. So this is actually built-in technology called the Grand Slam, which represents LiDAR. And so, sorry, it's simultaneous localization and mapping. That's what it stands for. And so basically you can actually move around and scan at the same time. So a very useful device, especially when time's a bit short on production and, on the soundstage. Let's go through a few of them. So I've already mentioned the first 2 here, the BLK 360. It's very agile, very lightweight. It's just under a kilogram. So the box is like that big. You can just go straight through like anywhere and they think it's a camera. So it's really great. It's very versatile as well. You can use this device for many projects. It has an accuracy of 4 millimeters, and as I say, the range is 45 meters. So the bigger brother is the RTC 360, and so this accuracy is 1.9 millimeters, and the range is 130 meters. So this was mainly used for architectural surveying, those sort of industries, and then it started to creep into film and entertainment just because it was so valuable. I've actually used this scanner quite a few times. I don't know if you've gone down to San Diego before, and Balboa, Park has all that lovely decorative designs. This captures it beautifully. We'll now move on to more of the autonomous range, the Grand Slam technology. So in the middle, we've got the RTC. So we've got the BLK ARC. We can see this is housed on one of the Boston Dynamic dogs. We've actually got a partnership with them. That's the go-to scanner they use. And then we've got the BLK to go. So that's a great device. Quite similar size with the BLK 360, but you hold it and you walk around. You can actually walk for about 15 minutes to create a data set. The range for that is 25 meters, and you gain accuracy of about 1 centimeter. And last but not least, we've got the BLK to fly. So you can actually chart a flight course, and it will do it automatically. So there's no steering with the drone, and it can cover wide range of aerial data. With other technologies such as photogrammetry, you do have to try and keep that drone fairly still when you're capturing the data. But with this device, you can actually fly and scan at the same time. So it's fantastic. So once you've got the data from location, it's now time to process. So what you would do, you would export the data and import it into our first recommended software, that is Register 360. This is really to clean up data sets. So any sort of people within the shots, maybe on a very busy sound stage or locations, lots of hustle and bustle. This bit of software can remove all the unwanted point cloud data, such as people, reflections, mirrors, that sort of thing. You can also create bounding boxes and export just areas of the data set if it's a large data set. And then the second software I'd like to talk about is Cyclone 3DR. So once you've cleaned up the data, you then import it into 3DR and it generates a mesh. So the mesh is basically a physical bit of geometry in the digital space. You can apply images, which are also captured by the devices, onto the mesh, and that's ready for the next process, either in Blender, if you're in games, Reality, Unreal, that sort of thing. So that's one process, but there's also another one. So if we go on to the next slide, we'll just have a look at what you can do on our cloud system. So we offer Reality Cloud Studios to our users, and you get a terabyte of data to begin with. So it's great for archiving. And also, even if you're on location, you can upload the data and you can actually start processing before you go back into the office. So we can see here that there's multiple scan data sets of a large area. You can actually combine them all together and create the ultimate data set. Once this is complete, you can then send it to colleagues or clients alike just by one link, and they can see exactly what you're seeing. So this is just a walkthrough here with the point cloud data, one of our scans. But you can also create video content as well, which we'll see in just a bit. So you can actually generate frames to create a movie, download it, and then share to your clients. There's also a method of being able to take measurements as well, which we'll see shortly in the video. So everyone can measure and see exactly what the proportion should be with a group, maybe of like 50 people. They can all see the same data set wherever they are in the world and be very sure like they've got the measurements exact. There's also bounding boxes as well, which we'll see in just a moment. So here we are. There's a chapel. Just say we want to take the roof off to have a look inside, we can do so. And it just gives you a lot more visuals of, what's actually in the interior. This is also from one of the setups generated by one of our devices. So it actually generates a HDR image. So we've got a 5-bracket exposure with our HDR imaging, and you can see a panoramic view of each setup. And this is the video which I was talking about earlier. So you can actually set up different camera angles and do essentially like a walkthrough. It'll show you just in there. There we go. So a lovely bit of, cloud system, for all of our users, very handy. And yeah, you can take, tags, for particular interested areas. You can do annotational notes. Also, all of this is, available for anyone with the data set. And here we go. I'm just sending to the clients and, team members here. So yeah, this is Reality Cloud Studio. Thank you very much for listening. I'll hand you back to Jamie to wrap things up.
So obviously there's a lot to take in there. a lot of different ways you can sort of play with the data once you capture it. Lots of different software involved in cleaning it up and creating your final OBJs or whatever sort of output you're looking for. But, in short, there's been a lot of technological innovations going on over the past couple of years. A lot of people keep tossing around, AI, virtual production, and these are things that are going to really change the way that we approach production and entertainment in general, for the rest of all time, honestly. And so any way we can find to, clean up the way data is captured and supplied to people, whether you're doing previs, whether you're in post-production, whether you're in set design and rigging, that sort of thing. Everyone needs the same data so that everyone's on the same page and you have the same sort of final output, final visual product that you're looking for, whether it's film, television, whatever content you're producing. So, LiDAR is definitely the most efficient way and the most precise way to capture this sort of visual data and to make it useful and practical. And that's really what we're here to do. We want to just sort of help enable creatives from a technological standpoint and help bring visions to life, especially, when we talk about new ways of deploying content and producing the content. So it's just a very exciting time for us to be here. There's a lot of exciting people here. We hope you make time to come visit us at our booth. We have our BLK to go as well over there if anyone wants to play around with that fancy toy. And yeah, we just love to talk to you. So thanks so much for hanging out with us, and let's make magic together. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.